maybe today, as they face bottom-placed Trident, they could chalk up a win and go on a run, notwithstanding that it's going to be a league recess. But they would want to go on a recess in good form. They also match the teams that are above them on the table, knowing that there's the small matter of the ABSA Cup. At the midpoint of the season, they have to break into the top six so the ABSA Cup. I would place it on Dynamos winning this one, although they are on a run of 2 games without a win.
Konkola Blades who hope to be sharp when they host mighty Mufulira Wanderers at Konkola Stadium.
Well, this is expected to be an exciting encounter, considering that these two sides met twice last season as they were playing lower league football, and they qualified. They got promoted to this Super League, and it's definitely expected to be an exciting one because last season I think it was Konkola Blaze that proved to be dominant, more especially when they played at home. But Mighty Mufulira Wanderers so far have proved to be a giant in terms of the teams that have gotten promoted. They are the only team that are doing fairly well of the teams that have been actually promoted. Because if you look at the standing, Mighty Mufulira Wanderers sitting on position number 8, just 8 points behind Zesco United. That's about 3 games. If you put it in that context, difference in terms of the difference. So they're just 8 points behind behind Zesco United, who are table toppers. But they are 7 points again ahead of Konkola Blaze, who are on 13 points, and Konkola Blaze are in the relegation zone. So Konkola Blaze as well know that it's just 3 games that we need to win for us to catch up with Mighty, or a game that we need to win just to get ourselves out of the relegation situation. And playing at home is where I think these teams should be able to maximize in terms of the points that they need to be collecting for them to survive. Because I think the main objectives for teams like Konkola Blaze, when you get back to the Super League, the main objective, first of all, is to survive, not really pushing for anything or wanting to play, to be in the top 6 and play the ABSA Cup. If that comes in, it should just be a bonus. But your main objective is first to survive, and then you build on from that the following season. But Mighty Mufulira Wanderers seem to have done very well to that kind of a template, and seemingly in good position for them to still be around in the Super League come next season. But Konkola Blaze have not done so very well in their last 4 games. They have drawn 0-0 against Trident. They drew 1-0 against Forest. They drew 0-0 against Muza. Again, losing 2-1 against Nkana. Yes, they lost 2-1 against Nkana. You wanted to hear that.
And the scoreline was 2-1.
Yeah. Yeah, but Mighty, their last 2 games haven't been so good. They drew 1-0 against the Nkwazi, but no shame in drawing against Nkwazi, who are really doing very well. And they lost their other encounter against Prison Leopards. But I think Mighty Mufulira Wanderers look like a side that is very good in terms of going to play against Konkola Blaze. The likes of Clive Bieta, hopefully they're going to be on form and be able to score goals for Mighty Mufulira Wanderers. I think a draw in this one.
John P. Pondala says, good morning, DJ Dazo, Mr. Mambo, and Mr. Xavier, following the program from Chipata compound here in Lusaka. We are pressed for time. We need to move at sonic speed. Green Eagles will battle Prisoner Leopards at Independence Stadium in Choma. Xavier.
This one is going to be interesting. Green Eagles, the last game, they drew 1-1 against Zanaco, while Prison Leopards beat Mufulira Wanderers in their previous fixture. So I think Green Eagles have been in good form since that 5-match ultimatum that was given to their coaching staff. They've only lost 1 match. They've gone on a run of, they've won 4 matches and drawn 3. I think sometimes when the executive of the club tries to cudgel up the coaching bench, the results are able to show, and that's what Green Eagles has done. Prison Leopards, they've also recently had a new coach, and the new coach bounce for them has been telling, because they beat Mufulira Wanderers, although previously they lost to NAPSA Stars, they drew against Trident, they beat Forest Rangers. I think they are in a kind of form that they wouldn't complain, but in a game like this where 2 form teams play against each other. You don't expect probably Green Eagles to retain their fortress, which is the Independence Stadium in Choma, by winning this one.
Magnificent People's team, Kabwe Warriors, are up against Mutondo Stars. Mutondo Stars did start on a resounding note, but results have not been as impressive as they were when the league just started. Kabwe Warriors a bit inconsistent as well. Mambo.
Yeah, Cabo Warriors, they had taken a very good lead at the summit of the Super League, but their last 4 games have not really yielded much. They have actually garnered just 1 point from a possible 12, which is a very, very disappointing return for Cabo Warriors. And their undoing part has been in the final third, where they haven't been finding the back of the net so consistently in the last 3 games before the last game. Kansanshi Dynamos, they lost 2 goals to New. Cabo Warriors could not score. The subsequent game at home against Green Eagles, they lost 1 goal to 0. Again, Warriors not on the score sheet. In the other game, at the last game they played at home, was a 1-0 loss against Zanaco. Again, Cabo Warriors are firing a blank. So it was more about the final third. They were not really ticking, despite having quite a good number of players up front, but they just could not score. Maybe it's in the middle of the park where the likes of Prince were not providing the much needed assists for them to be finding for the strikers to be finding the back of the net. But again, in the immediate last encounter against Red Arrows, they had to rely on the centre back Kilian Kanguluma, who scored the equalizing goal as Red Arrows had taken an 80th minute lead against Cabo Warriors, and Kilian with just 2 minutes after Red Arrows had lead. So Cabo Warriors are playing this game against the Mutondo Stars side that just beat Kansanshi Dynamos last weekend 2 goals to 0. I think it's expected to be an interesting encounter. What Cabo Warriors should be able to do in this match is try to avoid conceding the first goal as much as they should, because if they concede, the morale at the moment is not at the highest. They concede, the mental strength may not just be as strong, because they have consistently been losing games, and then they may just be thinking, here we go again. But I think Cabo Warriors are going to nick it. I think they should be able to build on from the draw that they had with Red Arrows and get this one against Mutondo Stars.
Quickly, we move to Sunday, the 10th of December. Kansanshi Dynamos at Nchanga Stadium will lace up with Kalampa were fresh from winning last weekend.
And I think the win by Nkana last weekend was a talking point by Kansanshi Dynamos standing coach Dono Yobe. He was saying that Nkana will have the morale, they will have wind in their sails.
They will have a pep in their step.
Exactly. So he was saying
a beat in their teeth.
Dono Yobe was saying his players have to have the mental strength to withstand that kind of morale that Nkana will come with. And I think Nkana also, they haven't had so many wins this season. When you get one, like I said in the previous match, you want to go on a winning run that will make you forget the patch of form you are on before that. So I think Nkana can nick this one.
I like that. It sounds very good. The other encounter on Sunday, we'll see sensational Zanaco playing host to Red Arrows at the Sunset Stadium. Interesting match in the offing, this one.
Well, very, very interesting match in the offing, this one. And this is one game that has actually been a game of draws most of the times. If you look at the last 6 encounters between these sides, 5 have been draws. Only 1 win has been rejected, and that was last time when James Chamanga scored a brace, remember, and Chisambalungu also scoring that cracker of a goal at Sunset Stadium. That was the last time when these 2 sides were actually separated by a result in which Red Arrows won 2 goals to 1. But all in all, I think these 2 sides have done fairly well this season. Red Arrows, after having had that blip against Kansanshi Dynamos when they were beaten 2-1. They ended up drawing again against Warriors last weekend when they had taken a lead in the dying minutes of that game, with just about 10 minutes before the end of the game, when they thought that they were getting the maximum 3 points at Nkolo. Fought immediately and got an equalizer in that game that ended 1-0. But Zanaco also played against Green Eagles last weekend, and it was a leading scorer, Freddie Michael, over Green Eagles, who scored to give Green Eagles a lead. But defender Samuel Shamujompa, Isaac Shamujompa, scoring an equalizer for Zanaco. This one, I think, is another game that has got a draw written all over it. I can't see these sides are getting separated, just like it has been in the past. It's been draws. I can see another draw between these two sides.
Enjoy the Zambian Super League this weekend, both on Saturday and Sunday. Before we end the program, any particular fixture from major leagues in the world that has caught your attention this weekend? Let me start with you, Xavier.
This weekend, I think the first match of the EPL this afternoon, Liverpool against Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace potentially a banana skin. Liverpool potentially a win that can catapult them to the top of the table.
Before the owners come back when they play later on us. I'm just thinking aloud.
And you're so sure about that. Football being what it is, there are no foregone conclusions in football. We have to wait and see what happens between Liverpool and Crystal Palace and then the rest of the fixtures. But it will be interesting. Usually the teams that play in the early kickoff set the tone for the whole weekend, and I think both Liverpool and Crystal Palace have saved up some interesting matchups this season. It will be interesting to see the outcome of that one.
Though Palace have not been doing so well lately, that has even seen the coach being questioned as to whether he should continue or not, and even had an object thrown at him.
Yeah, very unfortunate for a coach like Roy Hodgson. You'd think that nothing of that sort should happen to him, either from opposing fans or fans of Crystal Palace. But football being what it is, there's always that one person with a criminal mind.
Maybe you should also think of retiring. He's done his part.
Well, football is in his blood. You'd think that a man like him doesn't have anywhere else to
all that
go.
He has achieved, the money that he has, he just needs to be at a farm now, relaxing. And,
Which farm?
A man like him probably
in Northeast Manchester.
He doesn't do the coaching for the money.
We want to take him to 15 miles.
Mambo, your fixture for this weekend?
Oh, Aston Villa, Arsenal. Aston Villa, the way they played. When did we ever hear of a team dominating Manchester City? Aston Villa literally dominated Manchester City in midweek and even got a result, 1-0. They are really playing some exciting football, but Arsenal also playing some very good football. Kind of struggled a little bit against Luton, with Raya having that Onana moment.
Why is it now being called the Onana moment? Let's call it appropriately. Having a howler.
But it's more synonymous to Onana.
No.
Anyway, having that moment also.
If you want to use that moment as a Onana moment, then let's also take the opportunity to announce that the player of the month for August in the APL, it's Harry Maguire. Coach of the month is Eric Ten Hag. Goal of the month, it's Garnacho.
Who chooses?
But I think Aston Villa Arsenal is definitely going to be an exciting match. Arsenal, they've always produced some very good results against Aston Villa, but this Villa side is really looking very, very complete.
Xavier and Mambo, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure hosting you. Looking forward to having you again next Saturday.
Thank you very much.
And thank you to the viewers, to the listeners that contributed.
And the viewers,
alike.
Via Facebook.
Yeah.
Thank you. This has been Football Time on 5FM and Muchinga Radio in Chisali.
That was Football Time on 5FM Radio. Join us again next week at the same time.
Paxton Auto Spares, your leading supplier of genuine spares of all models of vehicles, is now offering lay-by